Good morning. So in today's lesson, we're going to look at surface area. So you'll see in front of you a starter of a few topics that we've covered recently to do with area. So what I want you to do is to try these and then put me on pause and then come back for the answers in about 5 minutes time. Right then, so here are the answers. So the first one is you do 12 times 10 and then half it. Ignore the 11 completely. For the area of a circle, you do 3 times 3 times pi, and you get 28.3. You might have rounded it a little bit differently. You might have done 2 decimal places, but around 28.3-ish, and you're correct. Circumference is pi times diameter, so you do 6 times pi. Okay. On the next one for area, it's going to be 3 times 3 times pi for the full circle, and then you half your answer. And for the circumference, you do 6 times pi, and then you half your answer, which gives you 9.42, and then you've got to add on the bit at the bottom, so you get the total perimeter. If you put 9.42, that's the circumference. If you put 15.42, then that's the total perimeter. So it actually says circumference. So if you put 9.42, that's an acceptable answer as well. Okay, so and the compound shape at the bottom right is made up of a rectangle and a semicircle, which you add together to give you the total area. Okay, so moving on. So we're going to look at the surface area of prisms today. So these are the learning objectives. So the goal is to be able to do the surface area of a cuboid, but the purple target is a triangular prism. I want to get some of you, if not all of you, onto purple today. Okay. Right, so there's a bit of information there about why we learn about volume and surface area. If you want to give that a quick read, you can put me on pause to do that. Right, so just a bit of a recap. So can you calculate these areas? So have a go at these now, and then come back for the answers in about a minute's time. Right, so here are the answers. So it's 8 times 6 for the rectangle. It's 10 times 5 for the triangle, then you half it, which gives you 25. And then for the parallelogram, remember you need to convert the 9 centimetres into millimetres, or you can convert the 70 millimetres into centimetres. So you should have done 9 times 7, because it's 7 centimetres. Okay, and that gives you 63. Right, so surface area. So this shape here is called a cuboid. Now the first thing to note about this cuboid is that it has 6 sides, and in terms of the area of these faces, they're in pairs. So what I haven't said so far is the surface area is the area of all the surfaces added together. So the area of the front should be the area of the back. If you think of, I don't know, as a cereal box, for example, the front of the cereal box will be the same size as the back of the cereal box, as will the 2 sides, and as will the top and the bottom. So they're in pairs. So the front and the back have the same area, as do the 2 sides, and as do the top and the bottom. And we're going to see that now. I'm going to see how to calculate the surface area. So this is the first example. What I would suggest is on every single question, you write down exactly this. You write down front, back, side, top, bottom. You can just write down F, B, S, S, T, B if you want. Okay, so as I've labelled them, we're going to look at the areas of these sides. So let's look at the front first of all, which is side A. That would be 5 times 9, which is a rectangle at the front, which would be 45. And as I said, the area of the front and the back are in pairs. So the back is also 45. Now, as for the side, side C is going to be 3 times the height is 5. Can you see it's 5 from the other side of the cuboid? So it's going to be 15. And the other side is also 15. Okay, and then looking at the top and the bottom, which are also in pairs, So I think the bottom's easy to see. The bottom is going to be 9 times 3, which is going to be 27, as is the top. Okay, so you've got 3 pairs of numbers, and the final answer for the surface area is just to add up all those numbers. Now I would suggest doing that in a column. It's a column addition. Or if you want to, you can do it in your head. So 45 add 45 is 90. 15 add 15 is 30. So 90 add 30 is 120. Then you add on the 2 27s, which will give you 174. Okay, I've written it as a column as well. You can do it like that if you want to as well. Right, let's see another example. So this is the next cuboid we have. Now, it doesn't actually matter which one you call the front and which one you call the top or the bottom or the sides. Okay, as long as you get them in pairs. So the front in this case, the front is going to be 6 times 5. The back will also be the same. They're in pairs, aren't they? Okay, here's another one, another 30. The top and the bottom are also the same. So the top is going to be, well, it's 6 times 3. It's the same as the bottom. You look at the bottom numbers. You see, the width is 6. It goes 3 back. It's 18. The bottom is the same. Okay, exactly the same. It should be in pairs. The sides, well, it's 3 times 5. You see, 3 across, 5 up. And the same for the other side as well. And then finally, you just add them. Add the numbers. Right, so I've gone through 2 examples there. If you want to pause me and absorb that information, you can do. But if you're happy with that and the method, we're going to move on to a question for you to try. I'm going to skip past this example because I don't want to do this one just yet. So there's 2 questions here for you to try. Okay, so I would strongly suggest writing down front, back, side, side, top, bottom, and then calculating all of those, okay? So do you want to put me on pause now while you try these 2 questions? Right, let's see the answers. So the front is 27. You have 27 written down somewhere. The top is going to be 2 times 9, which is 18. And the side is going to be 2 times 3, which is 6. So you should have those numbers in pairs. You should have 2 18s, 2 27s, and 2 6s. Okay? So I just said you have 2 18s, 2 27s, and 2 6s. Okay, so you can add them all up. Once you add them all up, you get 102. So you add up your 18, 18, 27, 27, 6, and 6. You might have added it up. I've sort of grouped them together slightly differently. So I've done 2 lots of 18, 2 lots of 27, 2 lots of 6, worked them out and added it up. However you want to do it is fine. I would probably suggest writing them all down and adding them all up, okay? The last one, well, in this case, this was a bit simpler because all of the faces were the same area. So the front, back, side, side, top and bottom were all 16. So you've got 6 of them, which gives you 96. Okay? If you're happy and you're getting these right, continue on to the exercises. If you want to replay an example, rewind it and go back to it, okay? Other than that, these are your 6 questions to try. For these questions, I would spend 10 minutes on these, okay? So off you go. Just put me on pause now, thank you. Right then, so the answers are coming up now. Here you go. These are the answers. Just mark them off. So I'll just go through the first one briefly. The first one, the front should have been 50. The top should have been 200. And the side should have been 100. So you've got 2 50s, 200s, and 2 200s, which make 700. Right. Depending on how much time left you've got, we're now going to go on to the purple topic, which was a triangular prism. Okay. So if you want to continue on with this, you can do. If you run out of time, then it might be time now to red, amber, green, purple your work. But I would suggest, if you have enough time, please make sure you are trying this because it's an important topic. Okay. So triangular prism is a bit different. You can see it's made up of 3 rectangles and a triangle at the front and the back. Okay. And we don't have this symmetry where we had the sort of thing where they're in pairs this time, apart from the front and the back ones, right? So it's just a case of working out each bit separately. So there's 3 rectangles to work out. Okay, so if I haven't mentioned, by the way, a triangular prism is sort of like a Toblerone shape, that sort of shape. The chocolate bar you get, it's that sort of shape where the front face is a triangle and the back face is a triangle. So the bottom rectangle is going to be 3 times 3, which is 9. Okay, now the next rectangle, doesn't matter which order you do them in, but the slanted rectangle is 3 times 5, which is 15. And the remaining rectangle to look at, which is this one, is going to be 4 times 3, which is 12. So you should always have 3 rectangles that you've done. Okay, you should have 3 rectangles, and then you look at the triangles. Now you've got the front and the back. Unfortunately, these are the same. Okay, so whatever answer you get for the front is the same as the answer for the back. So for the front, it's going to be, the triangle is going to be, well, can you see 4 and 3? It's 4 high and 3 across. It's going to be, just looking at the front bit, it's going to be 4 and 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Remember, for a triangle, you must half your answer, so you get 6. The other triangle is exactly the same. It's 4 by 3 and half it. Ignore the 5 completely for triangles, because here, that's the slanted edge. Remember, you want base times height. Final step, you've worked out all the rectangles, you've done both the triangles, you now add up all those numbers, and you get an answer of 48. Okay? Now, what I want you to do now is I want you to try this one for yourself. Okay? So do the 3 rectangles, do the 2 triangles, and then unpause me so I can go through the answers. So do you want to put me on pause now? Thank you. Right, so the answers. Rectangle 1, which is rectangle 2, and rectangle 3 are there. So you've got the 132 comes from the one at the side here, 12 times 11. Rectangle 2 comes from 5 times 12, which is the bottom one. And then the other side is 7 times 12. It's 7 down, 12 across. Okay? Then you've got the triangles. So triangle 1, it's 5 across the bottom, 6 high. Ignore the 7 because it's the height you want. So 5 times 6, which is 30, and then you must half it for your triangle to give you 15. Okay? The other triangle is identical to that one, which is also 15. And then finally, you must add up your answers, which gives you 306 as your final answer. If you got that, really well done. Now, what I'm going to do now is just do a fit time task, okay? So these are your questions to try. There are 4 of them. So there's a cube, there's 2 cuboids, and there is a triangular prism. So try these, and these correspond to the learning objective. So it would be red, amber, green, purple. Okay? So off you go on that, and then come back for the answers. Thank you. Right then, the answers. Oh, okay, so the first one, for the red one, I've not written the answers down, but it should be 54 centimetres squared. On the next one, well, it's going to be 12, add 20, which is 32, add 15, so it's going to be an answer of 94, okay? So you've got a 20, a 12, and a 15, and you add all those up twice to give you 94. On the cereal box one, you should have a 600 written down twice, you should have a 160 written down twice, and then you should have a 240 written down twice. So your total answer, when you add it all up, should give you 2,000 centimeters squared. So just to repeat that, you have a 160 written down twice. You also have a 240 written down, and you have a 600 written down, and then you need to add all those up twice, so it gives you 2,000 in total. Okay. Now, as for the triangular prism, you should have a 60 for a rectangle. You should also have a 108, and then you should also have a 72, which gives you a final all those rectangles in total, and then you've got to have the two triangles at either end, which, so just to repeat that, you should have a 60 for the bottom, you should have 108, and you should also have a 72, and then you need to add on the two triangles, which give you a total answer of 270, because your two triangles are each worth 15. So you've got two triangles 15, you've got a 60, you've got a 72, and you've got 108. Okay, so just want to red, amber, green, purple your work, and then that is the end of the lesson. Well done today.